So we are at verse 8 of the 108 Mirrors to Know Thyself. Verse 8 and 12 will be presented by us over the next, this week and next week. So as Brother Suresh had started off the program, the thing by telling us that each of these Namavalis that we are discussing is basically a mirror to which all devotees can see their own reflection. As Baba has declared, everything is in you, everything is a reflection of your inner being, everything is a manifestation of the Supreme Absolute Brahman, reality. Consider yourself as Brahma. Swami said this in 1996. It was given in that reading material that was sent to us.
Yeah, before I just like to interrupt. Okay, this is indeed a very rare
photograph. Swami looking at a mirror. Yeah.
Okay, please carry on.
Where you got this photo? Where did you get this?
I Googled it. I found it online when I said Swami, reflection of Swami, and it came up, this one. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So then this verse 8, Namavali 8, Om Śri Sāi Sādhujana Poshaṇāya Namaḥ. So earlier 7 we had finished comprehensively this last 2 weeks. Sādhujana Vardhanaya Namaḥ. This is Poshaṇāya Namaḥ. Salutations to Śri Sāi, who fosters and guides all noble people. The passage that was given, Gizya, you want to read for me? Passage that was given to us? Yeah.
Can we have the passage?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. Sai Ram, the woman Sri Sathya Sai Baba has declared, my task is not merely to cure, console, and remove individual misery, but is something far more important. My main task is establishment of dharma sthapana, fostering the wise, vidvat poshana, and protection of the Vedas, Veda Samrakshana, from Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Volume 2. Sathya Sai has come to re-establish the right way of living by guiding individuals towards a deeper understanding of their purpose, encouraging them to rise above the pursuit of mere comfort and embrace high ideals. He highlighted that true fulfillment comes not from material possessions, but from fostering compassion, integrity, and selflessness. Where many noble individuals suffer due to the erosion of fundamental human values, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's mission serves as a beacon of hope. He has inspired countless people to reclaim their inner strength and live a life rooted in love and service. By advocating for a return to ethical living, he reminded humanity that the essence of life lies in nurturing virtues and creating a harmonious society, thus uplifting the spirit of all noble souls, Sādhujanas, who seek the path of truth and righteousness.
Thank you. So then we thought to ask, what is a Sādhujana? And it was given. Who is a good person? It was well discussed during the last week's session. Sadhus in layman terms are people who have given up family, home, even their own body consciousness and live a life of sacrifice and penance. They were in the spotlight during the Mahakumbha Mela recently in Prayagraj. And then during the presentation, Sister Purnima pointed out that the term sadhu here also are all good people who aspire to improve themselves and transform from what one is to become more a sattvic nature and follow a higher thinking mode. So actually we can all be considered sadhujanas. And Swami is here to elevate all those who want to be helped. So Swami attracts to himself all such minded persons, all those people who want to improve themselves. He attracts to himself instances when even enlightened gurus have prostrated before Bhagavan, as reported in his biography. So this one picture, the life of Dr. Kupuswamy of Malaya, who later became Swami Shivananda Saraswati, stands as a beacon of hope and encouragement for everyone desirous of achieving the highest goal of life. He persisted with his intense sadhana of japa, dhyana, and seva, and established the Divine Life Society at Rishikesh. He was blessed with enlightenment, and then by a visit from the Kali Yuga avatar, Bhagavan Śri Sāi Baba. This happened soon after the Mahasabha of Vidwans, where Swami was a guest of honor. 29-year-old Baba was a guest of honor, and all these already well-known gurus were there. Swami gave the commencement speech at that Sabha, and the events that led to Swami Shivananda meeting Sathya Sai was miraculous, touching, and enlightening at the same time. It resulted in Swami actually traveling to bless Swami Shivananda in the Divine Life Society headquarters in Rishikesh in July 1957, and later also to bless Swami Chidananda in April 1982. These stories prove beyond doubt that sadhana takes us sadhujanas to enlightenment and God. So this was a picture from the Vidwan Mahasabha of 1956. And then, so what does it teach us? That we also, as sadhujanas, we have to attract to ourselves and Swami's organization people who seek direction, those who seek an avenue to help themselves and their children. This is through our SSC classes and all that. And themselves in the centers, we have various programs that we provide for people to improve themselves. STP program, parent care program, so many programs that go on in our centers. So the first question was, what will I do to reclaim my inner strength for living each day with loving compassion and selfless service, and thereby fostering a more noble and harmonious society? So we discussed it in the group, and after discussion in the breakout session, and then again we have met again to do a small group session, we concluded that mainly the 4 paths mentioned in the Gita, namely bhakti, karma, dhyana, jnana, are all ways to live by to transform oneself and create a harmonious society. With practice of one or more of these paths, one understands one's true calling and ability thereby can focus on the path chosen. So one of the points shared was all types of seva. This was already in the earlier session also. We talked about the various seva and how we have to put our mind to it and do the seva. So I just elaborated on various types of seva that is done, that we can do. These are some of it. Donation of food, known as Annadanam, we do it regularly. We owe our spiritual wealth not just to the sages, seers, and masters who walked the path, but also to the community that nurtured them. In our tradition, serving spiritual seekers and monks was of utmost importance. In fact, for many, it was actually a path in itself. This Annadanam was a path in itself. We see this as in full force during our bhajans. After bhajans, everybody congregates in the dining area for prasadam serving. Even if it is catered food that comes by grab, it's considered prasadam. So this is a donation of food. It's something that people feel that at the end of a prayer session, you donate food. Of course, there's also donations done at various times, like Brother Billy shared the video just now of food items and items to cook the food given out during various festivals that we do through the centers. Donation of time is another one that is very important, actually. Counseling, advising, and listening, basically. So donating time is actually known as volunteering. Basically, volunteering your time is a valuable form of philanthropy, where one contributes skills and efforts to support organizations or causes that one cares about. The strange thing is, the strange thing is basically that, like when you give money, that you get a tax-free, something you can, that you get a donation. When you make a donation to a charity, you can get a tax-free status. But when you donate time, there's no value to it. Like people don't recognize it. So Khalil Gibran, an author, he says, you give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. So giving of yourself, giving of your time. In other words, our time is more valuable than our money. But we need to think about it. We are happy to spend money on things that will save us time and effort. Like say maybe dishwashers, or this nowadays we have these robotic vacuum cleaners. It just goes around cleaning the house. You don't need to get up and use a vacuum cleaner in your hand. This robot will do the thing. Or not, even electric toothbrushes, just to save the time of moving your hand to brush your teeth. Why would we? It's a thing to think about. Would we be so willing to spend our money if we didn't think our time was more important? Even if we just spend it on binging on Netflix or TV like that. We consider time is so important. That's why we spend on those kind of things. Let's face it, we can always get more money, but we'll never get back the time we spend serving others. So basically, by counseling, advising, listening, we won't get the time back, but it is a very, very sacred form of service. Donation of money, we heard all about it in the last session as well. Tithing, where all of the religions in the world, they actually suggest and insist. Some religions have an insist on giving away a part of one's hard-earned money for noble causes. I think we were saying that I think the Muslims give up 1/10. In our Hindu philosophy, I think it's 1/5 that is supposed to go towards good causes. So as an example of this giving away money, I have chosen this lady. Her name is Mackenzie Scott. And she's reportedly since 2019, she's been a largest donor to various causes, to the largest number of causes as well in America. And how did she get so rich? She was married to the Jeff Bezos of Amazon. And at the time of their divorce, she walked away with 35 billion ringgit, mostly in Amazon stock. With that kind of money, she could have easily spent the rest of her life indulging in luxury. Instead, she dedicated herself to philanthropy, funding organizations focused on poverty alleviation, education, and social justice. Rather than taking the traditional billionaire approach of launching a personal foundation, which is what most people with a lot of money do. They make a foundation in their name or their parents' name or their spouse's name or something like that. But she didn't do that. She created what she calls a trust-based philanthropy. Instead of making charities jump through endless hoops, that means writing up reports and filling up a lot of forms, she gives them funds with no strings attached. A rarity in the world of large-scale donations. Over 2,450 nonprofit organizations have received support from her, covering a wide range of causes from housing initiatives to educational programs. So she's already donated, this was in 2023, she had donated 19 billion. And yet her net worth remains at 31 billion. So she's like, her approach to giving is very like ours, like our Swami's organization, what we do, we don't, we give it to our own causes through the organization. So her approach is very much similar. While others prefer tightly controlled foundations, the Scott's hands-off approach signals a radical shift in how wealth can be redistributed effectively. So she's quite a good example, I thought, of someone who's doing it with no, eye on the benefit, but she's just doing it for the love of humanity. And donation of liquid love is another thing that we do, and our SSIOM has been at the forefront of this seva at medical camps and at large gatherings like at Taipusam in Batu Caves. And we have received a commendation from Institute Blood Bank. And this seva has enabled many lives to be saved. Recently, this came to light when an Australian man who donated blood plasma for every 3 weeks for the past 70 years died at the age of 88. James Harrison had an antibody in his blood that is used to create the anti-D injection, which routinely stops the immune system of women with rhesus negative blood from attacking their unborn children. His generosity saved the lives of more than 2 million babies vulnerable to rhesus disease, thanks to his unique antibodies, according to the Australian Blood Service. So every bag of blood is precious, but James' blood is particularly extraordinary. So, and from his blood, it's a unique kind of antibody that they discovered. This is like he died at 88, so he must have been doing this for so many years, 70 years of giving blood. So this is also one thing that one kind of service that is so good and helpful. Self-upliftment is actually the best form of service to oneself. It leads to one from knowledge to wisdom, and practical application of wisdom thus gained leads to transformation, and we become loving, compassionate. Selfless service rendered by such a person fosters a more noble, harmonious society. Anything anybody wants to say for any of these topics on the types of seva that we can do?
Yeah, can I share something that was done by the Sāi organization? Okay, probably Dr. Suresh can add to this. Okay, wait, let me see. Okay, 20-week students surprise parents with good results. Okay, so this was initiated by Dr. Suresh. Maybe Dr. Suresh may add to this. Okay, where this is a Sultan Abdul Samad School. Okay, where this this class, okay, the teacher has got no hope, and these are the potential gangsters of the future. Okay, so this is where the students spend time giving an extra classes to these students. Okay, and surprisingly, what happened is that then they went for their exams, and the Muslim, principal was saying, that the Sādhujana Human Values Intervention Program has positively helped the students change their attitude towards study. And she said, I was shocked to see the dramatic improvement in the way they interacted in class through their participation and open-mindedness in suggestions. All right. So, Dr. Suresh, you may want to add something to this.
So if you really look at the verse that Swami spoke about just now, I mean the mantra, the word that is chosen about guiding noble souls. So here are students. So everyone has got that potential to guide. This is now acting as mirror. So every one of us have the ability to become a guide to the noble soul. So in this case, this is the first time that we entered into this. This is the first actual recorded evidence to enter into a school. This was done in 1999, I think. So when the students here, 70 of them, they don't come to class. They don't attend class. They don't. In fact, their marks are actually mathematics 9, English 15, like that. Very, very low marks, and they all don't attend. So when the principal told, you're wasting your time because nobody comes to the class, and we have already given up on them. This is Form 5 class. So A, B, C, D, and this is almost E class. So the teachers have given up hope. Principal also given up hope. So this is a real miracle, because then when I went to see the principal saying that we want to do a program, we can do, please allow us to come in. He said, yes, they said they'll write a letter to Dr. Suresh, University Malaya. I said, you can't write a letter to University Malaya because the modules are with the Satya Sai organization. You have to write to us. Then they said that NGOs cannot come officially into the school. There's a ruling in the parliament and all that kind of stuff. So we can't go inside. So I told them that, listen, we have the modules, we have the program, but you have the problem. So if you don't allow us to come, then how can we do? So it was a chicken and egg thing. It was going on like that. And meanwhile, in my head, I was praying to Swami. Swami, you said take one step. I will take 100 steps. Now we are right here, right in front, Swami. So one emergency call going on. And the other side is this conversation going on with the principal. It was at that time the PTA president came in, one Parents Teachers Association, Malay person. He sat in front of the principal and me, and then he looked at the whole thing and we were debating. Then he said, yes, that's true, we can't get in, but I tell you what, we will take, the PTA, the Parents Teachers Association will take responsibility. So that was a real breakthrough, and then he facilitated the process. And so we came out and the principal said, when you want to start? I said, anytime. So they said this was a Monday. So he said, we can start on Friday. Now, when we came out of the class and we came out of the came out of the class, now to ask how do we move forward? Because we don't have the module. Actually, we didn't have, because it's the first time we're going in. Nobody has thought of the idea. No one has conceived the possibility. So Tuesday Bhajan, that was our Bhajan, Tuesday Bangsa Center Bhajan. So we called all the youth leaders. And one of the leaders who were there at that time was the late Sister Kunaveni. She and a few other youth all gathered together. We sat down together. This is where we developed the first module for the class. He said, we're going Friday, we're going for the class. Tuesday we are. So you see, every individual, when you strive to go to the next level of helping another person to improve, you already you are fulfilling this particular mantra. You invoke Bhagavan, put him in the heart, and now we become the ambassadors, or we become the appointed persons to help other people to attain nobility. So, so we practiced, and then Friday we went in for the class. And that was really, they did very well, because each person took about 10 students. So lawyers, engineers, doctors, all the people took leave, Friday. They don't take leave, they just take a few hours off. So 7:30, they go to the class, and the headmaster allowed us to interact with the students within 1 hour. Then the class finishes. So every Friday we used to go like that for the class. And the principal was seeing certain changes taking place in the students. And then, but the thing is, coming back to that, Icha Shakti must be created. See, if you want to study and if you want to pass an exam, Icha Shakti must be there. The desire to succeed. So when we asked this question, the desire to succeed wasn't there. Icha wasn't there. And how, if you don't have desire, teachers sitting there and talking all the theories and motivation, it will never register in the students. So the first instant was you have to create a desire. For this, what we did was we took the whole 70 students and went to Podixon. And this was sponsored by the Parents Teachers Association. So we all went to Podixon and we played games in the beachside and all that. It is in the night that we had a session, a very moving session on parents. It is here that a lot of tears were invoked. People started crying respectively, because you want to make a transformation. You cannot cause transformation at the level of the head. It has to be at the heart. Only heart level can transform. Head is just conceptual. So emotions is a very important basis for changes to take place. So these emotions was invoked, and there's a lot of crying in the night, and it was really very, very moving. Next day, the principal came to our resort, and the principal was so surprised to see all the students in a group studying, group working out, group activity. The principal itself also this. So then we went to the principal and told, if we get our youth to come and teach tuition on Saturdays, will you allow the school to open? So she said, normal days, Monday to Friday also, they don't come to class. How you expect them to come to class on Saturday when they will not come? So we said to her, why don't you ask the students? If the students are willing to come, then we can have the tuition. So now in that whole 2 days, we were doing the motivation and enthusiasm and emotional and all that. By the time the headmaster asked these questions, how many of you, if you were to do the classes, tuition classes on Saturday, how many of you will you come? 100% of them put up their hands. Now, this was the most surprising thing. Headmistress said, my goodness, how come they are wanting to come on Saturday? And true enough, every Friday they will come for our classes. And every Saturday for 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, they'll come for tuition. And that was done by another group of youth, our own youth, who went and gave free mathematics class, English and all that. So they gave the tuitions. So as a result of this continuous work, which we did on Friday and Saturday, 70 sure failures. These are people who are deemed to fail, passed, and they succeeded. So now the question is, how come they succeeded? This was the best part. So they succeeded because we invoked a desire for them to succeed. And you know how we did this? It's amazing how we did this was in the session itself. I remember in the night, we folded the paper, the results paper, we folded the paper and we kept it in the front. And then we call the student's name and he has to walk very slowly to the front of the stage. And then when he opens that paper, their name will be there. And then all the subjects will be there. And we put the A plus. So they saw this paper and they started crying, they started shouting, with excitement that they were able to score these A's. Because never in their dream they were able to score, you see. So this was a simulation, but it provided a desire. So when the headmistress asked and they said yes, that desire was provoked in them. Icha is a very important thing. Once you invoke intention, then you have nothing to worry. After that, they themselves came for tuition, they themselves studied hard, and these results came out, 70 big students. So those who participated in the program, so this fulfills them that they were guiding other people to attain sadhu. Sadhu necessarily does not necessarily mean that group of people. Sadhu means actually comes from two words, samadhuram. Anybody who's standing equal distance from everything else, is not distracted, is a sadhu. So at this stage of life, going towards divinity, going towards is a sadhu. Those sadhus are sitting here in the sadhana, sitting down in study cycle is a sadhu. Of course, when you go and then come to that extreme of wearing orange and all that, that is another level altogether. But like what last week Sister Purnima said that. So exactly what it is that is what it is. So we have the potential to bring nobility in other people. We have the potential to guide other people. Each one must invoke this. So when you listen to this mantra, you say, okay, God, oh Lord, how can I touch people's life? How can I change other people's life? So this, if you have an aspiration, this creates an intention in your heart, which transforms itself to that fulfillment of that what mantra that we just talked about. This is the methodology of doing it, brothers and sisters. Right. Sarah.
Yeah, and we also have a video recorded during one of our Sāi convention of a gangster who was similar. I think there was another college, and this gangster, he's the real gangster type who what I call carry knives and break people's arm and leg, And he turned over and became a businessman, and so that video I tried to search for it, and I'll probably play it sometime next week.
That's a very powerful session. That gangster, that one, he publicly confessed in front of 1,000 over people in the Sāi sadhana, in Sāi convention. He said, I have cut people's leg, I have robbed banks, I have sold drugs. He said so many things. But that program is not star. This is star. That program that he was involved was called Shakti. Shakti means strengthening attitude, talent, knowledge, and image. So we organized that program, and this guy came. He later confessed that he came because he wanted to tackle the girls, and he thought there'll be girls in the course, but actually all were boys. But something happened in that course. Some transformation took place, and it became overnight he changed. And he came, and he was last time used for many sessions with other gangster type of students. We used him to transform that. And that's a very nice video, which I think Billy will show next week. But this, you see, that means to say, we have the thing that if we must not think that we are the only ones who are supposed to climb. Everybody else we should inspire and make them all climb together. That's what this is about. That's why it's so inspiring when you see Swami's that mantra and we turn it into ourselves. We have the potential to change people.
And also our Rise for VIP program, is a program for tackling the teenage pregnancy program by our Dr. Sharala, okay? And let's see whether we can also invite her to share some of the very inspiring experience, that they have experienced, in many of their sessions, okay?
Next week, maybe we'll ask her also. And then she is now not only she did this, and now they have done across the board training. Sri Lanka now as Mexico, Paraguay, many other Latin American countries have now taken, Canada, USA. So something that started here is now spreading far and wide, reaching out to schools and helping girls to become more and more resilient and more not vulnerable to these various temptations that is lying outside.
And this particular STAR program, now US is doing it under the Sāi 100 program called tutoring, okay? I think they have started quite a number of schools, in
23 schools.
23 schools. Okay.
Okay, so this has been a really interesting session. Anybody, anything else? Really?
Yeah, I think we have 1 more minute to go. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Mr. Tara, anything else?
No, we'll continue next week because it's a few more slides to go.
Okay.
So
I see. So you're doing two verses, verse 8 and verse
12, yeah. That's right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So with that, okay, let's end with prayer and thank you to all of you for coming. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone. See you.